Ever since I was younger, meeting celebrities, I'm kind of the same way now. Um, I'm not starstruck, but I'm like afraid to approach them because I'm feeling like they don't want to be bothered. So I'm kind of always nervous and sketchy whenever I meet a celebrity. But one time I saw this actor by the name of Oba Babatunde at Ralph's. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she was like, "Hey, you should go say something to him." And I'm like, "Nah, he probably doesn't want to meet me or doesn't want to be bothered. You know, he's in a grocery store." And so she like forced me to go talk to him, and actually she introduced us together. And turns out he knew who I was. Believed that we went to the same dancing school together because he told me how he saw me tap dance. And funny enough, he was one of Sammy's proteges. And so he wound up telling me how much my father loved me and wanted, and talked about me all the time because I never really heard those stories from people. Like he was the first one to tell me how much my father loved me, and that was without prompting. And also, what was the funny part is he was playing Sammy in a stage production in San Diego that was written by Leslie Bricusse. Now, Leslie Bricusse and Anthony Newley wrote about 60 of Sammy's hits, and so it was pretty cool to meet Oba and hear that about my father, and it's pretty cool also because Leslie wanted to do a stage production, and I actually met with him uh, about a year or so ago, and so we're not exactly in talks, but he expressed interest in wanting to do a stage production. So hopefully we can get that done. But yeah, I got a chance to meet both of them, and I just couldn't believe that Oba saw me tap dance because that's a piece of footage that I would love to see, but I haven't been able to find. But yeah, it was nice hearing that my father loved me and talked about me so much because I never really knew. And another celebrity that I was afraid to approach was the rapper Too Short. Now I went out eating one time with the same girl, and I was going to approach the table and say hello, but he was with other people, and I felt that he didn't want to be bothered, and so I just missed that opportunity. And Lionel Richie, he gave me a piece of advice when I went to his show in Vegas, and he found out that I was afraid to talk to celebrities and bother them and get pictures with them. And he told me a piece of advice. He said, um, if you don't have picture or video to prove it, it didn't really happen because basically you're just telling a story and it people either believe it or not. But basically, he told me don't be afraid to sit there and approach people and get a picture or get some video because people could either believe you or not. And that's why he has a whole lot of pictures in his house. So every time I've seen a celebrity since, I do say hello and introduce myself, and I find out that they're fans of my father's. So this one time I was at a bar and I saw a friend of mine had introduced me to Too Short because they were friends, and I didn't tell him who I was. I kind of walked away, and then I was like, you know what? Let me go introduce myself. So when I introduced myself and told him that I was Sammy's son, I was surprised at his reaction because before he knew who I was, he just shook my hand and that was it. But when he found out that I was Sammy's son, he talked to me for a good 5 minutes, and he was such a fan. I was so surprised. Um, Another person that was cool that I met, Snoop Dogg. He told me my father was a G. He sat there and we shook hands for a good minute, and he's so darn tall. But just to hear that rappers, gangster rappers and stuff like that, that they have an appreciation for Sammy. Busta Rhymes mentioned Sammy on one of his albums, but they was making fun of him on that. But still, Redman and Method Man, they used his name in the movie How High. You know, um, and I got a chance to meet R. Kelly also at the same time because they were doing a music video backyard party at my friend Joe Ori's house. And when he found out who I was, he said, "Hey, Sammy, come here," and he put me in the music video. So I made sure to stand right next to him, so in case they take any shots of him, you'll see me in there. So I'm in like a lot of it, maybe 70% of the video. You'll see flashes of me. But then after they wrapped up the production on that part of the song, he called me by while we were taking pictures, and then he would just sit there. He and I were just doing Sammy Davis Jr. impersonations. I thought that was funny as hell. I'll never forget that moment. And Chance the Rapper was there too, but I never got a chance to meet him because I didn't know who he was. I just heard his name before, but I didn't know who he was, so I kind of feel bad about that. Um, who else? So nowadays when I meet a celebrity, I introduce myself and I find out that um, they're more happy to meet me. My friend Jimmy told me that. He said when these celebrities meet you, they're gonna go home and tell their people, guess who I saw. So that's my not being scared of celebrities story.